The Nclex Pn examination. We have been talking about the Nclex Pn examination from day one of the nursing program. Each jurisdiction requires a candidate, in other words, a nursing school graduate, to pass an examination that measures the competencies needed to practice safely and effectively as a newly licensed entry-level LPN or LVN. The licensure examination is a means of protecting the public. The boards are the only agencies that can both license a candidate and release the test results to him or her. Now, the NCLEX exam is updated every 3 years, and they do this by sending out surveys to people who have recently taken the LPN NCLEX exam. They do this by making sure that the information being tested is the information that is required for the entry level or the minimal competency when the nurse goes into the workforce. So endorsement is going to be a standardized examination making it possible to provide licensure by endorsement from one board of nursing to another. In other words, if I were to move to Missouri, endorsement from one board of nursing to another would say, okay, these are the requirements that you need to fulfill to receive a license in the state of Missouri, but you've already taken the NCLEX, so that's the standardized examination. It is standardized across the nation. Endorsement application information is located in the Nurse Practice Act. There's 4 phases of the nursing process that are integrated into the NCLEX Pn examination. So, do you understand why we have been pushing the nursing process so diligently from day one in your training? Data collection, planning, implementation, and evaluation. There's different types of tests, questions that can be provided on the NCLEX examination, and you will probably come across all of these. Now, multiple answer or multiple response questions, we have heard from the last 2 years students who have taken the NCLEX exam telling us that they had a large amount of this type of question. So we try to prepare you by including this type of testing question within your exams. We do suggest that students search the internet for NCLEX examinations or types of questions. There's also alternate formats at ncsbn.org. So I highly recommend that you research that website to find out even more about the NCLEX examination. So there's 4 divisions of patient needs. This sets up the framework for the test itself. Patient needs will provide an overall structure for defining nursing actions and competencies for a variety of clients in many settings and are in agreement with state laws and statutes. We look at the safe, effective care environment. Coordinated care is going to be 16 to 22% of the test items. Examples will be advanced directives, client rights, management or supervision questions, confidentiality, legal responsibilities, and ethical practice. Safety safety and infection control will be 8 to 14% of the test items. And examples will include accident or error prevention, handling hazardous or infectious materials, medical and surgical asepsis, standard and other precautions, and the use of restraints. Under health promotion and maintenance, this will be 6 to 12% of all test items. You'll see some growth and development throughout the lifespan, such as aging process, antepartum, intrapartum, postpartum, and newborn care, developmental stages and transitions, family planning, and human sexuality. And also prevention and early detection of disease, such as data collection techniques, disease prevention, immunization, and lifestyle choices. Psychosocial integrity will be 6 to 12% of the test items. This deals with coping and adaptation, such as behavior management, coping mechanisms, and end-of-life issues, mental health concepts, religious and spiritual influences, and therapeutic communication. Excuse me. It also includes psychosocial adaptation, such as abuse and neglect, chemical dependency, crisis intervention, mental health concepts, suicide, therapeutic environment, and behavioral interventions. And physiological integrity. The basic care and comfort will be 6 to 12% of test items. It will include assistive devices, elimination, hygiene, non-pharmacological pain intervention, nutrition, and sleep. Pharmacological therapies will be 13 to 19% of your test items, such as adverse and expected effects, administration of medications, actions, and side effects of medications. Reduction of risk potential will be 10 to 16% of test items, such as potential for alterations in body systems, lab values, diagnostic tests, and potential complications. And physiological adaptation will be 11 to 17% of test items. So you need to have an understanding of basic pathophysiology, fluid and electrolyte imbalances, medical emergencies, and radiation therapy. So we integrate nursing concepts and processes into the Nclex examination also. When documenting, whether it's written or electronic, any event or activity associated with the client's care, you need to make sure that you include the teaching and learning that you have provided to the client. Make sure that you review the Pearson website at www.pearsonview.com/Nclex. Those are all lowercase. Pearson View is one word, .com/Nclex. Make sure that you complete all eligibility requirements for licensure. WATC will notify the State Board of Nursing when you have fulfilled your educational requirements. In other words, when you have completed the nursing program successfully, WATC notifies the State Board of Nursing that you have done so. You're going to make your application to the State Board of Nursing and obtain that examination candidate bulletin. The board will notify Pearson View that all requirements have been met, and all boards will ask a candidate about previous criminal activity, felonies, and misdemeanors. And the board is going to decide if it influences your ability to be licensed. You must be truthful. There is a story of a young lady who completed the nursing program who did not report a DUI arrest and conviction. It was placed on diversion, so she did not feel that it was necessary. But the state board found this information and they actually stripped her of her license until the matter was cleared up. You have to be above board with the state board. If you have any questions whatsoever, you need to be contacting them. We don't let anyone be a nurse. It is a very professional profession, and your behavior and your past has to be above board. Now, if you have any questions about any convictions in the past, then please contact the instructor or the director of the program to make certain that that may not be a hindrance in your obtaining a license. Then you're going to mail that form to the Pearson Center, and you can do this by internet, snail mail, or actually even telephoning to register. Pearson VO will confirm the receipt of the registration, and they will send you an authorization to test, an ATT. If the ATT does not arrive within a couple of weeks, then call Pearson VO at the number listed in the front section of the candidate bulletin. Once the ATT is received, then you must schedule an appointment to test within the validity dates that are printed on that ATT at any approved Pearson Professional Center. There is a time limit for all Nclex Pn examination registrations, and that is 365 days. Validity dates for the ATT will not be extended for any reason. Once you have been approved for testing, the candidate must take the Nclex Pn examination within the approved time frame. Take it on the scheduled day. Failure to arrive at the test site results in Pearson reporting the student to the state board, and you forfeit your registration. The State Board of Nursing will notify you of your test results. Usually, results are available 48 to 72 hours after testing by telephone or internet. Do not call the State Board of Nursing, the Nclex Candidate Services, the Pearson Centers, or NCSBN for your results. Although the computer that you test on continuously computes the results of your answers while testing, the Pearson Center will not release final results to you directly at that time. Now, it's really important that you follow the rules and all of the steps when you are applying to take the Nclex exam. It costs money, and these fees are non-refundable. There's a lot of security when you take the Nclex examination. You have to follow the rules. So make sure that, for example, your name is going to be exactly the same as when you apply for the Nclex Pn exam. Make sure that you bring your 2 forms of identification with a photo and signature. Take that ATT. You will be fingerprinted at the Pearson site. Your photograph will be taken and you will be asked to sign your name. These accompany the examination results that are sent to the board, and they can be used to confirm your identity. You will be directly observed as you take that examination through video and audio, and these are recorded during the examination process. But don't feel like you're being picked on, because this is what happens with everyone. You are not allowed to bring anything with you into the testing site. Everything, cell phones, etc., will be secured in a separate room, and you're not allowed to take it in with you. The computer does have that calculator and a time device, and it will tell you how much time you have. Erasable note boards are provided for use during the test, and then they are collected before you leave the room at the end of the testing. And you can only leave the room with permission. We try and emulate a lot of this type of security when we do our examinations throughout the nursing course, so it's not completely new to you at that time. You must read and sign the confidentiality agreement prior to taking the examination. And this basically is saying that you are not going to go around telling everyone what the content of the examination was, whether it's before, during, or after you take the examination. It can result in criminal prosecution or other civil liability and disciplinary action by the licensing board. You can have up to 5 hours to take that test, and that does include a tutorial on how to complete or how to answer all of the questions. There are breaks, and you can request another break if you really need one. Individuals that take the test are fingerprinted each time that they return to the testing area after a break. If the computer seems to be malfunctioning during the testing time, be sure that you ask for assistance. So this is an overview of the Nclex Pn CAT. It takes into considerations differences in nursing regulations within different states. It is designed to be fair to everyone who takes the test and provide appropriate opportunities to demonstrate your knowledge and your ability. You use critical thinking, the nursing process, and basic nursing knowledge, just as you do in the real world of nursing. Important content is included. Every person usually, you don't know how many questions you will be required to answer. The computer will adapt the examination to the test taker's answer, as the computer has a large number of test items stored in its memory. As you, the test taker, answers the standardized items, the computer will choose the next best item to measure your competence. Every question has to be answered because the computer calculates each answer before it goes on to the next question. You do not have to have a really great working knowledge of a computer to be able to take this test. The computer is going to select the items that you're going to answer during your test. So everyone's test is going to be different. All candidates will answer a minimum of 85 items, And the maximum number of items that any candidate will answer during that 5-hour maximum testing period is 205 questions. I've known some students that have answered just the minimum, and I have known other students that have answered all 205. It does not matter how many questions you get. Answering a few questions does not guarantee that you've passed. Answering all questions does not guarantee that you've failed. So, testing will stop when the minimum number of items is answered if it can be determined with certainty that the candidate has passed or failed. Now, this is not true for the state of Kansas, but some states will allow a temporary permit that allows a candidate to work as a graduate nurse. The state of Kansas no longer uses GPNs or GNs because it takes such a short time to receive the results of the examination. Those who do work as a GPN, if they fail the examination, then they revert back to working as a nursing assistant.